The Hornets play by far their best preseason game of the preseason. This is an all-star game. Nutmeg, full court alleys from LaMelo. That's what we're doing now. Unbelievable. We'll get to all of it today. Locked On Hornets.
You are Locked On Hornets, your daily Charlotte Hornets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
In a minute, cuz we live.
It's Locked On Hornets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Unreal, baby. We got some fun basketball to talk about. There's Doug Branson. An excited Doug Branson. I didn't know if you were going to actually say anything. You basically just Shador Sanders did there. Everyhornetsboxscore.com. Go check it out. It's a Substack. It's great stuff. And also go check out Yahoo Sports Daily. He helps produce it. Jason Fitz, Caroline Fitton. Again, Yahoo Sports Daily. I'm Walker Mail. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Sports Radio 92.7 FM. This episode is brought to you. It's brought to you by Game Time, Doug. Oh. They're back. Yeah. What time is it? Game time?
Game time.
Game time? Oh, my God. I'm so glad you're back, baby. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. I'm glad. That's how you know the season is back. Now, the Hornets giving us a 145-point performance. That's something that I would welcome in the regular season. Goodness gracious, man. I mean, by far their best game. They just went nuclear, starting really with Miles Bridges. He was 29, 10, and 5 on the night, hitting pretty much every single shot that he took. He was 11 of 16 from the field, hit a lot of threes. Just excellent shot making from Miles. But, man, I mean, pick your player that you felt like was worth talking about here. Brandon Miller really came on late and got hot in the second half, 7 of 16 for him. LaMelo was excellent. Gave us the play of preseason. Cason Wallace had the crazy play where he shoots it over the backboard from like 10 feet out of bounds. That was nuts. This one was also a nutso play with LaMelo going nutmeg, Jock Landale's jock strap, okay? Under Jock's jock strap, and then full court alley to Brandon, who had to go all the way back to get it. Unreal stuff. Moussa Diabaté. Oh, my God. The Moose is loose. Where do you want to start, Doug? I mean, so many fun things to talk about regarding the Hornets, who came out like this game mattered, who they cared. I thought the energy level was exceptional in this game. Shout out to Collin Sexton and Moussa for bringing all of the energy here too. Lots of great stuff to talk about here. Where do you want to go?
People will go to that Cason Wallace shot and say that, man, that's the shot of the preseason. You know, all the people that talk about shot of the preseason. And I would say to those people, hold on a minute, because what LaMelo did, nutmegging Landale and then going way up top, scoop left-handed alley-oop, and then Brandon, the athleticism just to get to that basketball and yam it. He had to reach all the way back into his back pocket.
Crazy.
It was an incredible play, and it capped off an incredible game. And you mentioned it, LaMelo and Brandon really getting it going in the second half. I think LaMelo had 16 in the third quarter, had 2 points, all of 2 points in the first quarter, maybe the first half, 2 points. It was a struggle for LaMelo. And I'll say, the Hornets scoring 37 points in the first quarter when LaMelo only scored 2 points on 2 attempts. That's not going to happen very often, but it's nice to know you can do it, because the Hornets last season, I don't think they could have done that. I think you could have given them 300 games and they would have not been able to score 37 points on two attempts from LaMelo Ball, 2 points. It was crazy. It was Collin Sexton putting pressure on the defense in transition. It was Miles Bridges lighting up the nets. Thank you, Triple J, for completely laying off of Miles Bridges and taking the night off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. And Miles was like, okay, thanks. I'm just going to rip the nets like I did the other night. I'm not sure if you watched that game, but okay.
Eric Collins, he said, disrespectful. Miles Bridges left all alone, and then he banged it home. Yeah, I look, if you want to start with Miles, just kind of doing it all, but also it's good old fashioned shot making from him. Just, yeah, you mentioned it, burning up the nets, man. Even made both of his free throw attempts, real hot in the 30 minutes of play from Miles. The 10 rebounds, he was doing it all. The 5 assists, as you mentioned too, plus 14 if you care about that sort of thing. Miles was the player of the game. I don't even know what's funny is, like, I don't even know if he's the most interesting storyline here. It's just he was downright good, downright fantastic in a lot of different aspects. I think the LaMelo, Brandon Miller second half performances especially were particularly noteworthy. My boy Moussa Diabaté, I'm not going to be able to lay claim to him solely anymore. He's becoming a fan favorite with him diving on the floor for loose balls. He has created so many second chance opportunities in a way I don't think many other players would. They could, because it's an effort thing for Moussa. It's not necessarily a talent thing unless you subscribe to TJ McConnell's philosophy in that effort is a skill. Like, people don't view it as a skill, but it is a skill. If it is, then Moussa is in the 99th percentile, where he dives for a loose basketball close to the half court line to save another possession. Eventually the ball finds itself in Liam McNeely's hands early in this game. McNeely misses the 3, and then Moussa is almost there to grab the offensive rebound off of the missed 3 on a second chance opportunity. Anyways, he actually has some stuff in the box score to talk about with 18 points. I'm all over the place. Do we start here, though, Doug? Were you surprised with the starting lineup this late? A week from the regular season? Were you surprised at the starting lineup featuring Ryan Kalkbrenner again as that starting center and Con Knipple starting at the 2 right next to LaMelo?
No, I really wasn't. I'm not surprised at this point of any experimentation that he's doing at either of those positions. I think for Kalkbrenner, it was about saying, hey, nice game, rookie, see if you can follow it up, like challenging him to do that. I think with Con Knipple, I just think he wants more looks at how all of these pieces fit together, and if Con Knipple could have a bounce back game after some struggles turning the basketball over. And I would say, yeah, he had a bounce back game. I think he's got a difficult choice here, because with Con, you can see like the basketball moves so fluidly when he's on the floor. But with Collin, it's not that it doesn't move fluidly, it's just that he moves fluidly in transition. But and here's the other difficult thing is, like, Collin Sexton makes Moussa Diabaté even better, because there were multiple plays in this game where Collin Sexton runs full speed in transition, knowing full well he's not going to shoot the basketball. He's just drawing defenders so that Moussa can get a clean look under the basket. And Moussa converted, or Moussa hit a bendy Euro. Like, there was all kinds of stuff that Moussa could do because he didn't have to create too much of that on his own. He was just simplifying things. It's like an offensive coordinator simplifying the game for a quarterback. Like, that's what Collin Sexton was doing for Moussa Diabaté, and it was a beautiful thing. And so I just think he's got some tough decisions here in terms of, like, Collin Sexton's good enough to be a starter. He's played good enough basketball to be a starter on this team, but maybe he wants that Moussa Diabaté, Collin Sexton magic going on off the bench.
What do you think about the MoCo duo? MoCo PNR with Moussa Diabaté, Collin Sexton. That's what I was looking at when we were watching those two create sweet
Sounds like a
music
drink
with
at the
one
low
another.
bar. MoCo. Give me a MoCo.
A MoCo, a little mojito-ish, maybe. We'll figure it out. But it definitely sounds like a drink that I'll be ordering, please and thank you. It feels like they're the two players that keep up with one another. It's who's going to match Collin's energy, who's going to match Moussa's. Oh, it's just going to be those two together. It's the two guys that are the fastest on the track team. They're always out in front, and then so they're just talking about life, and they develop a friendship because everybody else is behind them a few paces. It's those two working with one another and benefiting from one another because their energy level is just so much higher. That's what it felt like. And here's the thing, maybe we move on after this. When we talk about players starting at the 2, Doug, if Collin Sexton is going to give you 6 dimes, I think the case for Con to start over him becomes a little harder, even if I agree with you, because the ball does move more fluidly. I thought, again, Con showed another example of attacking a closeout and come correct at Con, or he'll attack the closeout and then he'll find open shooters on the wings or on the elbows. Yeah, man. Even with that being said, like, and there's still some times where I feel like there was a moment I thought Collin could have hit an open shooter behind him. I think it was Con on a pick and roll opportunity, but like passing isn't his strong suit, but it was a strong enough suit here to where you could see him facilitate for others. Yeah, he was excellent. It feels like Collin, with this performance and others, he's the guy. If he's going to be talked about as the leader, it feels continued to for him to be the guy as that starting two.
I want to talk more about Miles because I think when you dig into the numbers, there's something that's obvious in terms of why he's playing so well in this preseason relative, efficiency wise, relative to how he played last season. I'd love to get to that. There's so much in this game. Gawkprinter block. How many blocks did he have? Felt like he blocked like 1,000 shots. I don't know what Jalen Wells, what were these Memphis Grizzlies thinking? And then I think we should address, like, does this mean anything? Like, they scored 145 points. Does it mean what we think it means? Like, how excited should we be? Kind of get into all that too.
All right, you heard the tease. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere!
More celebrating a preseason win. Who cares? We'll celebrate it. More celebration coming up next.
I don't
LOH.
care.
This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you, and you can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNBA. This episode is also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time?
Game time?
We'll get there. Basketball season, it's officially here. Nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. But let's be real, getting tickets can be a total headache. Between waiting in queues, surprise fees, and prices that jump right before checkout, it's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your team. I know. That's where Game Time comes in, the app that gives fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NBA tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Miles' shot making was fantastic in this one. All the threes, all the dunks. He was 5 of 7 from distance, and then it felt like really every other bucket that he hit was at the rim. We'll welcome that. I think Charles Lee welcomes that shot diet for Miles, as long as he's hitting the threes for sure. So the threes were falling, the dunks were falling. You love to see it for Miles.
Yeah, for sure. Here's what I love to see, though, most, is that he's doing it in a variety of different ways, and one of those ways is not isolation. One of those ways is not the first action broke down, no one has any idea what to do, throw it to Miles, see if he can make a play. Like, that's what the offense reverted to, particularly if LaMelo wasn't on the floor or Brandon wasn't on the floor. Too many times the offense reverted to that, and it typically ended in a bad step-back three-point shot for Miles Bridges that did not go in, okay? So now when you look at the preseason numbers, courtesy of Synergy, I'm looking at 11 transition possessions. I'm looking at 10 spot-up possessions that were no dribble jumpers, meaning he is being fed, and he hit those at 2 points per possession. That's great. That means he's hitting a lot of three-pointers. Spot-ups in general, 1.8 points per possession. That's amazing. He's doing it in pick-and-roll ball handler. He's doing it even, there's 6 handoff possessions, and I'll say, like, the third three-point shot that he hit in the first quarter, he had 3 in the first quarter, was off a Sexton assist where Sexton hands him the ball and then immediately sets the screen. Like the timing was perfect. Handoff, boom, set the screen. Miles had a clear look at the rim right above the break. Like that's just, you're getting that off the bench. You're getting that execution level off the bench where it's like, I'm going to set Miles up and I know exactly how to do it. And it's not an isolation play for Miles. Just, I mean, look, Memphis was a disaster in this game. Defensively, Memphis had no idea what to do. It's not always going to be this easy, but at the same time, like you're just seeing flashes of execution that would have just been like, it would have been the play of the season last season.
You asked if this was real. The question becomes, what can we take away? Look, it feels like you can take away some level of crispness in which they play because it doesn't feel like they have this crispness that they've played with in previous seasons, in previous games. And I think, again, what are the things that feel different? Maybe we start there. What looks different in other preseason games and other seasons, other preseasons? I think it's the efficiency in handling the basketball. I think there's a level of fun with these guys that I have not been reminded of since they were a league pass team a few years back. That was a thing. We got there. They were a league pass team. So it's been a few years. It's so effort, fun, execution, shot making. That was all there too. The shot making doesn't look to be faux. This looks like a stable shot diet for this team. From what we've seen where, for instance, Collin getting to the rim, that's something you can bank on. He's done it this entire time. You see that here. Love to see that. Second chance opportunities for Moussa and for the entire team because Moussa's grabbing offensive rebounds. We know this about Moussa. He's going to collect a lot of offensive boards. Okay, check. LaMelo, have you noticed that he's been taking still some wild shots in terms of wild and like, oh my God, can you believe he hit that? But it feels like he's also getting better looks too because there are more threats on the floor. There's talent around LaMelo at this point. It feels like everyone is accentuated by one another because there is more talent on the floor. Just wait till Grant Williams gets back. And now you have another shooter who does dirty work and shoots. I'm getting high off the supply, baby. It is what it is. It feels good because a lot of things feel different about what you've seen so far this preseason and especially in this game than in other years.
Yeah, look, I don't know if they're going to shoot 40% on 50 3-point attempts every night. If they do, then they might be a playoff team. But
they took 10 less than Memphis, and they took 50 3-pointers.
And Memphis made more. Memphis was 26 of 60, 43%. Hornets were 40%, 20 of 50. Again, not a lot of defense in this game. You know, I think the Hornets, we're going to see plenty of games this season where they build a big lead and then give that lead up very quickly. Like they're not a team that understands at this moment how to play defense all the time. Like when they built that 20-point lead in the first half, they seemed to just, I mean, at the end of the second quarter, I think they gave up like an 11-point advantage in the last 4 minutes. And there were some possessions where I was watching LaMelo, and I'm like, LaMelo, I need you to guard like you're only up 2. When you guard like that, when you're only up 2, that's great. And then when you're up 20 and you guard like that, that's not great. So the whole team, but that's not just LaMelo. That's like the whole team has to learn, hey, we've got to play defense all the time. 20-point leads are nothing in the NBA with how teams are shooting threes. Perfect example is what Memphis did to pull themselves back in it. And luckily, LaMelo's offense, not luckily, I mean, LaMelo's offense came on, and we've seen this so many times where he can have a god-awful first half. And then even first 3 quarters, we saw this last season. He could have 3 just awful quarters, and then fourth quarter, he could score 20. Like it's just, that's just, you can never give up on LaMelo's offense. I mean, we could probably count on one hand the number of full games where he's been a disaster. I can think of one last season where it was just full game disaster. It just happens so rarely. So, you know, you can count on that, but it's like, can you count on the defense for this team? Probably not, but it's like you said, it's going to be fun. And the more fun that these guys have together, I think the better chance that Charles Lee has at getting through to them in terms of like, hey, okay, now we're having fun. Here's what we need to do to win sustainably.
So if you're one that's watching us right now and saying, geez, guys, all right, let's reel it back in. You're not wrong. You can reel it back in.
So I shouldn't get the big dub hat. I should leave that on the...
No, let's have some dignity. Leave the big dub hat on the shelf for a moment. But if you're one to say reel it back in, that's totally fair, given context, given opponent. All of it's fair, except, you do think about Grant Williams not being back on this roster yet. Okay, so that's one 100% bona fide rotation player. Think about Trey Mann also not suiting up in this game because of hip soreness. He does look good he looks good for next week, by the way. So that's when the opener against the Nets is going to happen October 22nd. But no Grant, no Trey. Also, no Josh Green. I look, frustrating player. He's going to be a part of the rotation. He does something better than 90% of the other players on this team, maybe even 99 in defending the perimeter. Sion James is one of those guys right now, but you get the idea. You're down 3 pretty significant pieces, a part of your rotation. One that we have as a possible 6th man of the year candidate. Mm-hmm. So, okay, you asked me to reel it back in. That's fine. You're not wrong. But then I'll ask you, does it matter that 3 rotation guys were out of this game also? And they've been missing a couple of other ones. They've missed Grant Williams and Josh Green the entire time. They've missed Trey Mann the last couple. Like there's reason to be optimistic.
To me, I don't even look at 145 points. I don't look at 23 pointers made. The highlight plays are fun. They're fun to watch. But again, I think Memphis was a disaster in this game. Here's what I take away. 1, they've added shooting, and the shooting seems real. 2, the major pieces in LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller are coming fully online. Like, no worries there. I mean, both of those players coming off of injuries and procedures and different things. Both those guys look great and getting better. And then I would say the transition game, and this game in particular, I thought things are starting to click. They've been asked to play faster. In the first couple of preseason games, faster was not better. They were not. Right. They were not finishing at the rim. There were passes that should have been made that weren't. Passes that were made that shouldn't have been. And in this game, I mean, even highlight plays aside, in this game, I just thought better execution across the board. The ball was getting kicked out when it needed to be kicked out. Moussa's just gotten better. Like, if I can just name one improvement for him that I've seen clearly, it's finishing in transition. Finishing in half court, still a little bit of a question mark. But in transition, I mean, dude was hitting Euros. He was finishing plays in transition. And for a team that was not doing that well last year, anyone that's doing better in transition is a welcome addition.
Yeah, 1 missed shot from the field tonight for Moussa. And here's something else, by the way. Only 2 missed free throws on 8 attempts. That's something it's not gonna be pretty from the free throw line for Moussa Diabaté. It's actually gonna be a little bit of an issue we haven't talked about, shooting from the center position at the free throw line. If it's not Kalkbrenner, you can't feel great about it with Mason and Moussa. But 6 of 8 from him. Hopefully that just shows some level of progress, even if it's not on an escalator. 9 offensive rebounds for Moussa. That's what he does, man. All right, coming up next. Yeah, 9. That's right. 9 offensive boards. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
That's so dumb.
He's everywhere!
All right, producer, isolate that. That's so dumb. I like that. Isolate that sound. We'll have more observations. Last few things we want to note. Brandon Miller, maybe a few more thoughts on what Brandon Miller showed us in this game. A few more notes to get to. Final segment, LOH. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season, I mean, it's been here, man. We're almost halfway through the season now. It's crazy. And FanDuel, they have an offer you don't want to miss out on. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it gives me a variety of different ways to play. FanDuel gives me parlays, player props. You can even follow the live lines during those games. It makes watching football even more exciting when you got a little something riding on the action.
Yeah, I do. I got something. I'm going to tell you a hot tip here. I'm going Titans Pats trap game. I like the Titans. New coach energy.
Bump.
Come on, let's
New
go.
coach bump is a real thing. It's a real thing. I'm staying away right now. If you want to get in on the Pats, I would say next week they have the Browns at home, by the way. So, yeah, there's your FanDuel
I'm going Titans. I'm not going. I'm saying Pats. They're feeling themselves right now. They think, oh, I'm first place, blah, blah, blah. No, Titans are going to do it.
Right. If you want to bet on the Pats, the next week is the time to do it.
I see what you're saying. Sorry, I wasn't listening.
That's your NFL segment on Locked On Hornets. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Final observations here. We talked about Brandon Miller. We had the conversation about him coming along slowly from the scaffolunit, and 21 points for him. Second half is the time when he really got it cooking here, Doug. 3 of 8 from three-point range, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. How about 6 assists, 1 turnover for Brandon Miller, too? What'd you think of Brandon's performance?
I thought it was good, man. I think I thought his passing was good in this one. I thought his defense was great. I mean, he's getting, he's poking the ball away at least twice a game now. I mean, I don't know if they result in steals all the time, but he is a defensively impactful player for the Hornets right now in this preseason, and I'd love to see that continue. I've weirdly had my eyes on his rebounding number. What did he come in with in this one? Brandon, where are you, Brandon?
2 rebounds, just 2.
Why can't he get more rebounds? I don't know why. Maybe it's not an emphasis for them. I just want something that is not going to exist because that's not an emphasis for them. Because you've got Miles Bridges, 10 rebounds. You've got Moussa Diabaté, vacuum cleaning, 13 rebounds. LaMelo Ball.
Miles has always been good about it, and Miles has always been great.
Well, they've clearly asked him. They've clearly because teams will figure this out in terms of I remember with MKG back in the Bobcats into Hornets transition days, Clifford would talk about only certain guys are allowed to crash the glass because we want to get back in transition. Now, that was their defensive strategy. I'm not sure exactly what Charles Lee's thoughts on that are, but there were certain guys that were to sign, you go and rebound and everybody else, get the H back. So, maybe it's Brandon Miller, we need you back in transition. Don't crush those boards, or, be available in case Moussa does be available for the kick out. Maybe there's something to that. It's just, man, he's got long arms. He's super athletic. He keeps coming up with 1 or 2 rebounds. I don't know.
Okay. Rapid fire. That's never really rapid fire. Liam McNeely, 21 minutes in this one, Doug, which is notable because you look at the starters, Brandon, Miles, they got 30. LaMelo, Con, they got 28, 25 minutes of play. And then after that, it's Liam McNeely getting the most with 21 minutes, got early minutes in this one too, was 3 of 8 from the field, missed all 3 of his 3-point attempts, grabbed 5 rebounds, finished with 7 points. Liam McNeely, any interest there or an eyebrow raised at the amount of run that he got in this game?
Charles Lee called him a Swiss Army knife type of player, doing a lot of the little things, not going to stun you in the box score probably early in his career, but somebody that I think coaching staffs are going to view as an impactful player. I'll say this, if you look at the lineup data, when he was on the floor, the Hornets were 104.5 defensive rating. When he was off the floor, 122.8. So, and how much of that was Liam, I don't know without really kind of going back and digging in. But if he was on the floor, they weren't very successful defensively in this game a lot, unless Memphis was just completely tripping over themselves. So if he was with lineups that were successful defensively, that might have gotten him a little bit more run, particularly if he was a major part of it. Also, I think you're probably going to see 1 or 2 guys get a little bit more run as we close out this preseason, getting a final look before they get their ticket to Greensboro. Well, I guess they were in Greensboro. Get their ticket to stay in Greensboro.
I saw Rod, of course, with another great tweet, or Rod Morrow at Rodimus Prime, Black Guy Who Tips podcast. Go check all of it out. You won't regret it. I saw him tweet out, man, there's no excuses for T-John tonight. He's familiar with these rims. he knows Greensboro. And, I can't help but think after reading that tweet, Is he going to continue to know Greensboro? Because we're not having the game. We're not getting it here. We're not getting the moments where, it's not happening for Tijon in the first, again, 3 preseason games. Okay, that's it. But all the rookies are getting run and a decent amount. Sion James played the least amount of minutes, and it was 15 compared to 18 and 21, 25. So Tijon, man, he might continue to be familiar with those rims.
Do you think that Tijon was in the locker room at the Coliseum and he starts to kind of pack his locker away, and somebody from the team comes up and goes, don't worry about it. You just leave that there. Don't worry about it. You can leave that there. just hold on.
It's a back and forth thing. We'll get you some more stuff of the same kind up in Charlotte. Yeah, we know what it is with Tijon. We've talked a decent amount. Last couple things. No run for Spencer Dinwiddie. If you're just looking at that last spot on the bench, Pat Connaughton, Spencer Dinwiddie battle. Pat Connaughton gets 9 minutes, goes 0 of 5, doesn't hit a shot. Spencer Dinwiddie gets a DNP-CD. It still makes more sense to me that they would keep Spencer Dinwiddie on the roster, but there is a shot that Connaughton would make it over Spencer, even if Spencer did just get that contract and Connaughton was only acquired because you wanted the picks that came with his salary. So
I wish I had some analysis for you here. I have none. I have not seen anything out of either of those guys.
I didn't give you any. Yeah.
I'm shocked, honestly. I wasn't expecting either of them to wow me in any kind of way. They're on this roster right now because they were not able to wow any of the other teams that they've been a part of or were currently a part of before they got moved here. And so I wasn't expecting huge things, but I guess I wasn't expecting nothing. I was expecting something. Yeah, I'm a little surprised, and I really don't. I think whoever stays, the reason is going to be something that we don't quite understand because it hasn't shown itself on the floor.
Okay, I lied. I did want to make one last point. Mason Plumlee, man, just
weird.
Getting nothing. Weird. Just not getting anything. And I know he had the personal stuff where he wasn't in camp early on. If he doesn't see an uptick in minutes these last couple of preseason games, then we can pretty much settle on it being Moussa and Kalkbrenner with Mason being third in line, right? If we don't get an uptick in these last couple preseason games, it's a week out, baby. We 7 days away from the opener against the Nets. I would expect him to receive more minutes if he's going to be a part of your early rotation, but maybe he's just not, and he's going to be the Taj Gibson of this year's team.
I think that's looking more likely than it did before training camp got kicked off. Yeah. So, 0 points, did get 4 rebounds, but only 5 minutes of play. I just think and to the Dinwiddie Connaughton point, I probably underestimated the Hornets' willingness to prioritize rookie play and overestimated their desire to get veterans on the floor. And to those rookies' credit, I think Kalkbrenner's already grown a lot in preseason. Khan's just making great decisions. He's going to have games where he looks like a rookie, but he's making great decisions. Liam McNeely looks like he belongs. Sion James, again, limited minutes, but I could see them sort of making him out to be the Josh Green successor. But I think the rookies, and this has probably been a camp storyline too, where the rookies have just looked more comfortable and accelerated their progress to the point where it was all right, do we really need to lean on Mason? Do we really need to lean on Spencer Dinwiddie or Pat Connaughton? Or can we just grit our teeth through the first 20 games as these rookies figure it out, because none of them look lost?
Old rookies too. I was looking at the age. Did you know Kalkbrenner is 4 days older than Moussa? That's it. So Moussa is 4 days younger than Ryan Kalkbrenner, who was in college forever, was at Creighton and just felt like forever. And Mason is a 4-year pro, so it's wild. All right, that'll do it for Locked On Hornets. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free. We're available anywhere you get your pods. That includes YouTube. Happy version of Locked On Hornets today. Doug Branson, everyhornetsboxscore.com. Go check out Yahoo Sports Daily. It helps him out, folks. He produces it. Jason Fitz, Caroline Fitton, they do a great job. I'm Walker Mail. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Sports Radio, 92.7 FM. If you join us tomorrow, by the way, we're going to be talking with the Charlotte Hornets. I believe I don't know about head chef, but we're talking with the Hornets chef to discuss some of the new food items at Spectrum Center this year when they're open for the regular season. Going to be trying food on air, and so we're going to have to work on our our Guy Fieri reactions on TV. Oh my God, this is delicious. The deliciousness of this delicious treat is so delicious. We're just going to have to continue to say stuff
come up
like
with
that.
something better than that. The crispiness.
Yeah.
You got to go. You got to do the
crispness.
words. Yeah, the crispness. It's a flavor combination of sour and sweet. It's, you got to get all of those like descriptor words in there.
It's delicious. That's what it is. Yeah. I'll be the mayor of
Good luck.
Flavortown tomorrow if you want to check us out. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back with you tomorrow.